Well, before we got to go over to Nostalgia and meet Jennifer and see her wonderful store, we spent the weekend over in the Winfrey at the Magic City Con.
The Hyatt.
The Hyatt Regency.
Look, Winfrey's still
forever the Winfrey.
Forever the Winfrey.
Pretty much, if you were born before 1996, yeah, you're going to call it the Winfrey.
Yeah. So the Hyatt Regency Winfrey.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where we spent the weekend, Saturday and Sunday. Well, both you were there Friday as well, right?
Yeah, I got there Friday a little bit afternoon. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So Magic City Con, the final Magic City Con, which absolutely breaks our hearts. Jamie and Rita, the two ladies who have run Magic City Con, are fantastic people. They're friends of ours. And they, I think they went out with a bang.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It was a good show. We had a great weekend. We were all there as part of the Alabama Ghostbusters, our main fan group. And I got to see a lot of friends I hadn't seen in a while. So, yeah, well, what'd you guys think about the con?
I guess, like I said, since I was probably there the longest of everybody, it was good. Like I said, they Friday wasn't too busy. They like I said, I'm assuming they did it to also complement with the mall area hours. They didn't run too late Friday, and of course today they didn't run too late. But overall, like I said, it was wonderful. Like I said, Saturday was a busy Saturday as expected. I mean, like I said, I've never had a bad experience at Magic City Con, and like, you know, maybe one day it'll return, and I can continue saying that. You never know.
Yeah.
But I mean, like I said, even like I said, when I went over to the guest table and got my picture with Darby, Rita just happened to be over there, and she was talking about us and the Ghostbusters. She's like, they've been with us since the beginning. You know, she was bragging on us to guest, which that's a huge compliment. I mean,
yeah.
So I mean, beyond that, like I said, I had a wonderful time. Like I said, it worked out good. That's one. I had Oliver with me. That was his first full weekend convention. Usually he just goes for the day or whatever, but he had a good time. He loves staying at hotels for some reason. Why? I do not know. Why this kid, I guess because it's somewhere we're sleeping somewhere different that isn't home or the grandparents, but he loves it.
Yeah. Hotels are fun as a kid. Hotels are fun for me as an adult. So
yeah.
You don't have to make your own bed.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Kind of like camping in a way, but more official.
Yeah. Sorry, we don't get to go to them very often.
Well,
but...
I mean, it's just the treat of staying somewhere that's not home. Yeah. Maybe it's because there's no really responsibility to be had in a hotel. You know, somebody else takes care of it for you.
What's always so funny is like growing up, like I think I was telling y'all guys, like I always thought the Winfrey, it is a very nice hotel. Don't get me wrong, but you know, when I was smaller, I expected the Winfrey to be like butlers everywhere. You know, it was always it's the fancy hotel.
That's right.
Oh,
the fancy.
And it took it took Magic City Con being there. You know, I've lived in this area my entire life, and it was the first year they had it at the Winfrey. That's the first time I'd ever stepped foot in that hotel.
Yep.
Many times I went to the gallery in the 90s and the early 2000s. Never went in the hotel just because. Why would I go in the hotel?
Yeah.
But the hotel. Yeah. And that's where all the fancy people are. So you don't need to go there.
Yeah. Of course, though, I always threatened after I started going to Dragon Con and all the football fans were all like, what's with all these costume people here? I kept threatening to go during SEC media days in costume going, why are all these football people here? So, you know. But no, it's I can say I've had nothing but a positive experience every time I did Magic City Con, and this one was no different.
Let's go. Let's go with the person now who was there the least amount of time, which would be me. Bo was there for the most amount of time. I was there for the least amount of time. I came up for about 5 hours on Saturday, and the con definitely had the feel. It really did. You know, all these guys came dressed as Ghostbusters. I had to be the combo breaker, and I came dressed in my Quidditch, which my easy costume that's super easy to get into, and it always gets good reactions. So, it was super good. The dealer room this year was great. I was commenting in our pre-show here, telling these guys that, you know, I spent probably an hour and a half just going through and talking to dealers and vendors and stuff in the dealer room. That they really. They picked some really good dealers this year, and they got some really good folks there because there were some really good tables. So if you guys are listening, I know this was the last year, but just know that you guys did a great job with the dealer room this year. It was phenomenal. It was probably the best dealer room that I've ever seen at MCC was this year. And maybe that's just something different with me. It's always possible, but I felt it. And it was really good. And then just the overall setup with the panels and everything. It was great. It was just in the little bit of time that I was there, which, you know, in the grand scheme of things wasn't a huge amount of time, but while I was there, I had a lot of fun. Got to meet a lot of people, got to talk to a lot of folks that I hadn't talked to in a while. So, and that's why I go to cons for.
Yeah.
Jess, how was your experience?
I had a good experience this weekend. It's just that, you know, the small cons like this, it feels more intimate. It's kind of more of like you feel more like family at cons like that. And that's always a good feeling. And you're talking about the dealer's room. I've always noticed that the dealer's room at Magic City Con, there's a lot more people that are honing their craft. It's more, you know, I don't want to say artsy crafts kind of theme, but these are people that kind of, well, yeah, I mean, they bring something that's genuine. You know, it's not just manufactured stuff that somebody's just trying to sell.
It is a real life version of Etsy.
Yeah. So you've got people that, more people that own their own business and the things that they make and they create, as opposed to just, you know, commercialized. I guess that's the best way to put it.
Mass produced stuff. It's all handmade. It's crafted with care. You know, you've got authors in there who write their own books, artists who do their own posters and paintings and prints and of course, I hate we didn't get to try the vendor that made fudge.
I've been hearing, we heard all about this fudge.
Yeah, we've heard it was amazing, and we didn't get a chance to go over to him. But we had we did get to sample some treats today from, what was that place?
Sweet Nana's.
Sweet Nana's treats or something.
Yeah, Sweet Nana's.
Excellent.
I know, sweet little old lady selling her baked goods, and they were fantastic.
One of the things I always like about going to cons is going to the dealer. There's always that one dealer that has like all the Gentle Giant figures.
Yeah.
And they're selling them. And I saw, it just made me feel good. I saw that one of the busts that I've got of Grand Admiral Thrawn, where he's got the Issel Miri around his neck. That's one of my favorite because I'm a huge Grand Admiral Thrawn fan. The guy was selling it for $500. I was like, wow, I had no idea it was worth that much. Okay. Now, whether it was worth that much at convention prices, I don't know. But he was trying to sell it for $500, which I was like, all right, cool. It's not, you know, most of the busts I have are priceless to me. So it's not like I would ever sell them, but it was just, you know, it makes you kind of feel good. Like, yeah, man.
Yeah.
I did a good job buying that.
And a lot of great costumes spotted this weekend. A lot of people just put a lot of time and effort in their costuming.
Yeah. Of course, you know, if you're a regular listener to the podcast, you know what a nut I am for Scarlet Witch and Elizabeth Olsen, and our friends Christine and her boyfriend Kyler. They came as Scarlet Witch and Doctor Strange, and they looked fantastic.
They look great.
Yeah.
And I've got a spark of inspiration for a costume that I'm going to pursue at some point, which was when I said, my hubby put him in his fist over there. He's excited.
My 100% support on this one.
I'm going to pursue a cartoon April O'Neil costume.
Good deal.
At some point here in the future. I was like, why didn't I think of this before? I mean, and it's not very elaborate, and it seems like it'd be a very comfortable. I'm getting to the point now where it's going to be it's going to be a comfort thing overall, and I mean,
and you can interview people, you know. I mean,
it's exactly.
Cool. Was it a yellow jumpsuit and white boots? That's it.
Pretty
and a white
much.
belt.
Yeah, that's it. Belt. I mean, pretty simple. And I love putting on the Anna coronation dress. It's been one of my favorite costumes, but
mine too.
But it is once you get it on and you've had it on about 2 or 3 hours, you kind of it's kind of getting just the movement in it, and you really can't sit down. I mean, it's and there's a lot of kind of restriction to wearing something like that. It's fun. but after a certain point, it's kind of like, okay, we kind of.
Oh.
I mean, I'm even guilty of being ready to shed the flight suit after a certain period of time, just because
You
of.
don't say.
Yeah.
We're sitting behind the table yesterday. Con wasn't even close to being over, and she's just like, "I'm done." Boom, in the bag it goes. Okay.
Well, it's flight suit doesn't breathe very well sometimes, and it's June, it's getting a little hot outside, so
A little.
It's only the
Even
seventh
in
layer
some-
of Hades out there right now.
Oh my gosh.
so
I saw Kevin pointing to his Boba Fett above, talking about, it's fun to wear up for about 2
Yeah.
hours.
And I
Yeah.
can't sit down. I'm like,
Uh-huh.
yeah,
Yeah.
that jerk right up there. Yeah,
That
I love
guy
them.
right
And I love
behind
wearing them, but it's like if you ever, everyone loves the Mandalorian, but as soon as you build one, you realize what an action figure feels like. What it feel like. Because
Well,
you feel
and
like you're walking around in plastic because you're essentially that's what you are. Big plastic
I
man.
am in pursuit and wanting to do my Anna Mandalorian mashup. That'll be the next mashup that I do. I had the Aerial Ghostbuster, so
And a
that's
DeLorean.
the Anna DeLorean.
Anna
Or Anna
DeLorean.
DeLorean.
DeLorean, yes.
Anna DeLorean, yeah. And
You heard it here
in
first.
talks. We were in talks with Shane this weekend about, kind of showing him what I was looking at and discussing,
Mhm.
what could be done and stuff with that costume. So
Yeah, and he's ready to help us gather the pieces, and we're like, soon. We
Yeah.
hope.
Yeah, Shane's working well. Like I said, I talked with him. Like my belt gizmo for my Ghostbuster is just after about 11 and a half years, it's time to say goodbye to it. So I'm working with him on either 3D printing one or something.
mhm.
We're gonna figure it out. I need to replace mine. Mine's in terrible shape. It's such a terrible shape.
Yeah, and speaking of Shane, I had a wonderful weekend with him.
Mm.
He has 3D printed the body of the RTV from Ghostbusters Afterlife.
Mhm.
He's got if he doesn't have the exact model of RC car they used for that for the motor and the
It's
chassis,
close.
it's extremely close.
Mhm.
I know it's the same brand. I just don't know if the model's the same, but he 3D printed the ghost trap and everything to go on top of it, and was driving it around the con a little bit. And we put a video up on our TikTok and on our YouTube shorts. And so that thing is really cool. He's gonna make some improvements to it and some adjustments, but Shane's just a really talented guy.
Yeah.
And
Incredibly talented.
yeah, and so it was really cool to see that around the con this weekend. In fact, we were going to do our Alabama Ghostbusters panel on Saturday. We're like, hey, you gonna pick that up and carry it in there? He puts it down on the ground. I am driving it. It's like drove into the panel room.
No, not carry it, drive it.
Exactly. It's got wheels and a motor, man. Are you kidding?
He's like, I've
Shane's
worked on
done
this. We're going to see it now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and anybody who's friends with him on socials, we follow the saga of getting this thing up and running. Oh yeah, you're darn straight. He's going to drive it around as much as he
Of
can.
course,
Sure.
absolutely.
As much as time as he spent on that thing and just getting it as perfect as possible. Yeah, I would be doing the same thing.
Yeah, and a shout out to Shane because he's been pretty active in a lot of the events that have been going on and helping getting the table set up. So thank you, Shane, for picking up the torch for us and being an awesome cadet in the Ghostbusters crew.
Shane is an absolute trooper when it comes to this stuff, and we can't thank him enough. Both Kevin and I have been with the Alabama Ghostbusters. Kevin's been with it definitely from the start, and Bo and I came along not very long after, in 2009.
Pretty much.
In 2009. So we've been at this a long time, and family things start taking precedence as you get older and your kids and everything else and in life. And so as we're all, and we talked about this in the Alabama Ghostbusters panel at Magic City Con. We talk about we want new blood in the group because we want to keep the group going and keep it viable and relevant. And we had a good crowd in the panel, and we've got for the Alabama Ghostbusters, we've got the ALGB, the headquarters on Facebook, And I think everybody that came to the panel yesterday jumped in that public group that we've got
Mhm.
and are wanting to be a part of it. We met a really nice lady named Caitlin
Mhm.
who does a killer Abby Yates
Yeah.
cosplay for Answer the Call. She's fantastic.
Yes.
So hopefully we're going to get her involved. And there was a kid Ghostbuster. I didn't catch his name, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But his brother, I assume that's his brother.
Yes, I believe it was his brother.
There's a whole family there that I believe they're all family that was there.
He pulled off a Trevor
Yes.
from Ghostbusters Afterlife that you just have to see to believe. He's a much nicer looking Finn Wolfhard. This young man.
And if you're wondering what version of Trevor, it's the blue overalls when he drives the Ecto for the first time. He's wearing the blue overalls with white sneakers. It's wonderful. It was awesome.
Yeah, and then his mom and dad and other sister, I believe, were there. And if you're listening to this, and if I got the family dynamic wrong, I apologize. But they joined the headquarters group, and they were fantastic. And I mean, the kid and Bo were going back and forth about real Ghostbusters.
Yeah. Well, his mom was telling me at the table when they were at the table earlier, because we had the TV going playing the cartoon, and she's like, he watches this all the time, all the time. And this is the excitement that coming off of Afterlife that we were anticipating is, I mean, even with Bo, with Oliver, this has struck a chord with kids now, and that's good because it breeds that life into this franchise. It brings the new blood into it, so to say.
Well, that's why I say that was the main thing with kids. I think that's what we were talking about people complaining about like Answer the Call, and people were upset that kids at Afterlife had kids, but I think it's a great thing because like you said, the originally the franchise was not meant to be picked up by kids. It was meant to be this adult, not really adult, but a grown-up movie with comedy, but yet kids gravitated toward it.
Right.
And so Afterlife did that great job, and
Ghostbusters back in the day was kind of racy a little bit, but now, now by the standards of movies these days, it's real tame.
Pretty tame, yeah.
Well,
so kids gravitate to that kind of thing, and it's mostly okay now.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it's the whole, fighting ghosts, catching
exactly,
ghosts.
yeah.
It's the, so yeah. And
but
I mean,
good.
like, oh, go ahead, Bo. Sorry.
I said, no, you're good. Like I said, it's good. Like I said, it's like I said, it's got to. I don't know. The little boy, he probably had to be maybe a couple. If I had to guess, he was been 8 or 9. I'm guessing
so.
8 or 9. So, and like I said, he's in that very age where like he's going to get into it, and he's we got to do this now. So, but it's good to see that again. Like I said, that's how we were.
Yeah.
So getting that new blood involved in not only the overall Ghostbusters film franchise and that fandom, but also getting them into our Alabama Ghostbusters group, and hopefully we can start doing more events and everything. And that's kind of where I was going with Shane. Shane is just an absolute trooper when it comes to events. You can count on him. And so many of us old timers from the group, like I said, life kicks you in the rear end sometimes, and you just can't do as much as you used to, even though you want to. And so very thankful for people like Shane and for Brian Maddox who set up at Alabama Comic Con, and Leanne and Jason Mott, dear friends of ours, and Vicky, who is new to us as well. We've all got our old great and faithful members, and they're there when they can, but they're like us, they got life. And so we appreciate all the efforts, coming from I can call us elder Alabama Ghostbusters statesmen, because we've been there since the beginning.
You were the founders, the founding fathers.
Yeah.
Veterans.
Old salts.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Shane's been with us a few years, but he's still, he's still a lot newer than we
are.
And
Shane is quite literally a trooper. He's also in.
Well, so he's been.
He's in the 501st as well. So
I'd say he's been the costume community. I mean, like you said, 501st. He does the G.I. Joe. So I mean, he understands it. I think that's why he's done such a great job with it. He's been involved with other things, and
so. and he's in Bama Geeks front porch,
Mhm.
you know. So if you're listening, Shane, God bless you, buddy. Thank you so much for everything you do. We
Yeah.
really appreciate you.
Like I said, all the hard work everybody does not go unnoticed. Don't worry about that. It's
Yeah.
very seen. It's seen and
We can't-
appreciated.
We can't pay you,
Yeah.
but we appreciate you.
There's not a steady paycheck involved.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So-
Exactly. So
But yeah, just real quick too, about the panel and having, these people come in that,
Mhm.
that have that interest and reaching out now to be a part of it. Just my comment, I know that Caitlin, she's very passionate about 2016, and that's
Mhm.
great. There's a lot of, we're not going to go down that rabbit hole, but there's a lot of strong feelings and bad feelings about 2016, and
and not from us, by the way.
No,
We-
not from
yeah,
us.
we're-
No.
Yeah, we love it.
Not from us. But for her, that was, she told us, she said, my dad loved the first movie, and I had that introduction, to that and to the first and the second movie. She says, but it, for her, 2016 really resonated with her, and it felt good with her because she loved the representation
Mhm.
of women Ghostbusters. So,
Yep.
and then, like I said, now we've got Afterlife and the kids being involved in Afterlife, and we've seen what
Right.
that's doing with the kids in our lives and
Yeah.
at this con, for instance, as well. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
My kids as well. I mean, my kids have been around Ghostbusters their entire life. My son was less than a year old whenever I got involved with the Alabama Ghostbusters, and my daughter's been, she was 2 or 3 when I got involved with it. But they've always enjoyed it. But yeah, like I said, seeing the kids in Afterlife,
yeah,
that's what got both of my kids. My
Mhm.
Alyssa was very much, oh my gosh,
Mhm.
that was
Mhm.
fantastic.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's good to see, boys, girls, men, women, whatever.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Young, gold. Yeah.
Yeah.
young and old.
Young and old, green ghost, yellow ghost,
Yeah.
doesn't matter. Ghostbusters is very well represented amongst everybody.
Yeah. Like everybody always kept like the biggest pop. What can we do to join your club? We're like, just have a good attitude and like Ghostbusters. And it doesn't
Yeah.
matter what version, like Ghostbusters.
You can come out with an off the shelf pack. You
Yeah.
can come out and wear a jumpsuit. We're all fans.
Exactly.
You're a fan. Just come out and enjoy it.
Yep.
Yeah. Enjoy
And-
what
and-
you love.
That's what we've always been about. Our entire 13, 14 years of existence.
According to my shirt, 2008. So
Yeah, that's when Michael Whitten founded the group as the Birmingham Ghostbusters. In 2009, we changed it over to Alabama so we could get more people in the state.
Mhm.
And so, and just a
You
sneak
guys-
peek, one of our members from a very different part of the state, very far away from us, but from my home area in Dothan, Robert Lawrence, Bobbert, as we always love to call him.
Mhm.
He's going to be joining us in late July on our podcast here. And he is quite the character. He's quite the many
I love
characters.
Bobbert.
So be on the lookout for that. We're going to have him on towards the end of July. And I can't say enough good things about Bobbert and just the bright, shining soul that he is.
Mhm.
And he is fun. He's creative. And he, in fact, I mean, that's his business.
Mhm.
He does this for a job. He's got his own like kind of party business that he does. So we're going to have him on to talk about that and showcase some of the geekiness from Southeast Alabama,
Yeah.
UCLA. Yeah, UCLA, the unknown corner of Lower Alabama. So
And I don't know if y'all got anything else to talk about Magic City Con wise. Something that came to mind, unless you got anything, Brock? Or
does your thing have to do with Magic City Con?
kind of, sort of, yeah.
Go ahead.
Like I said, good seeing people. Good to see our friend Joe Crow.
Yeah, we got to have him on as well.
Joe Crow. Unfortunately, we couldn't make it Friday night, but I believe there is a video on Magic City Con's Facebook page. Joe and Sean Ray, Friday night, they did the hot ones with the hot sauces and everything. So Joe got to take part in that, and it was fun to hear his perspective and his experience with Da Bomb and all the other hot sauces. So good to see Joe,
Mhm.
and hope that like said Brock said, we're going to try to get you on here soon. Joe does a lot of wrestling stuff
Yeah.
here in Alabama, and we hope to get out to an event at some point to see his wrestling show.
And he and Gary Mitchell run the American Sci-Fi Classics track at Dragon Con.
Yes.
And Joe's a Birmingham-based guy, and so we want to have him on. Probably we'll see if we can. I know he's going to be busy getting into Dragon Con,
Yeah.
but we'll see if we can have him on beforehand to talk about
Yeah.
Dragon Con for those who have never experienced it. We can tell you all of our experiences.
Yeah.
Joe's very much in the heart of it. Running one of the tracks. He's run that track for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, at least as long as I know, I've been going over 11, 12 years now.
Yeah.
And I heard Sean Ray and Brock talking, and just a little shout out to Sean. Thank you for the nice things you had to say about the podcast. We really appreciate that.
And Sean runs the Cosmic Potato. I'm going to butcher the name, and I'm so sorry, Sean. I know he listens. The Cosmic Potato Alliance. He has his network. He has his own network of podcasts. So just look up Cosmic Potato, or it used to be Infinite. But you know what? I'm going to just go ahead and look this up now.
Yeah.
So I absolutely
do the man justice.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got his own podcast network. And I know for our audio listeners, you're like, okay, he's really not talking about the Cosmic Potato, the Super Fan Talk podcast. Here you go. So we'll give Sean a shout out. And I did some voice work for an intro on one of his podcasts, but yeah, you can check out Sean. Another friend of mine, Rick, who I was introduced to through Sean. They do a whole bunch of Star Trek, Stargate, you name it. These guys talk an awful lot about a lot of things, and they're all fantastic. They're fun to listen to. So we'll give Sean, who's also in our Bama Geeks Front Porch Facebook group, and a very good friend. So it's good to see him this weekend. Hey, I hate we were not able to make it Friday night to see the Hot Ones panel, because it's always fun to see people suffer eating hot wings.
And we are a fan of Hot Ones and the Hot Ones sauces, and we have a nice little collection in our kitchen there on the counter.
I think we've said it before. We look like Firehouse Subs with all the hot sauces on our counter. Yeah.
So what you're saying is we need to do our own Hot Ones with us,
and we have so many sauces. Yeah, we'll burn some biscuits.
That's not a bad idea.
No.
You don't like the heat, Kevin?
No. I value my stomach lining.
I will do this for the podcast. Okay?
I'll do it too.
I will do it.
And I will sit and laugh at you guys. I can MC it.
I
will be fine. I'll be the guy asking the questions. I'll be fine with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
You bring the Tums.
Milk.
Milk and water.
I need some milk.
We need some milk. Oh, yeah. It's we'll definitely have to do that at some point.
Yeah.
Be
like,
we'll
all be like Shaq.
I will take one for the team for the podcast. Okay, I got this.
Oh man, the Shaq episode was great.
Yeah,
he gets to the bomb. I mean, Kansas don't know about no hot sauce.
Oh,
and then he bites into it. Oh, I'm sorry, Kansas.
I apologize, Kansas.
I will say though, touching back on Magic City Con, I know we've kind of gotten away from that a little bit. With this being the last year, I will say I really, really hope that somebody else with the means and the tolerance and the connections comes up with something similar to Magic City Con, because it's going to be sorely missed. I mean, it's always a convention. Well, at least it feels like it's been around for longer than it has, really.
2015 was their first year.
Yeah,
if I remember
right,
because Alabama Phoenix Fest was from 2012 to 2014, and we cried buckets when Tim and Steve and Stan made the unfortunate and the sad decision to shut that down. And I think it was the very next year that the Magic City Con came
Yeah,
aboard. So
because I remember we were like,
2015.
what do they think they can just pick up where Phoenix
Yeah.
Festival left off? And they
and they
did.
did.
Yeah, they
Mhm.
did
And
a
they
great
knocked
job.
it out of the park because I remember the first year they had it over in a different location over
It was
The Cahaba
the
Grand.
Harbor Grand.
Cahaba Grand, yeah.
For
When
the
they had it over
first
there, and
2 years there, I believe.
At least the
the
first year.
biggest thing that I remember is when you went in, it had the dual staircases going up. And then
Yes.
right up at the
Mhm.
top of it, somebody had set the TARDIS right there
Yep.
at the top. I was like, that's the biggest memory I have of the way that was set up. And that was a huge location that they could have
Mhm.
potentially. I think that's a church now, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's one of the. I think it's one of the Church of the Highlands big campuses or something now.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, and it's been at the Winfrey ever since, but it's, it's one of those conventions that, this is the last year for it, but it feels like it's been around for 30 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just has that feel to it. So when you're there, you're like, you're just going to see family.
Right.
It kind of has that like a baby Dragon Con kind of feel to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gonna leave a pretty good little size void in the Birmingham con community.
Yeah,
and
because
things.
we really don't have that now that this is officially over. We really don't have anything outside of Alabama Comic Con that I can think of off the top of my head.
Mhm.
And CamiCon
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Camicon.
in February every year at the BJCC.
And they're
Which-
great. They're great cons, but they don't have that Magic City con feeling.
Well-
and that's because Rita and Jamie are local.
right.
You know,
Yeah.
it's just like with Tim and Steve with Alabama Phoenix Festival.
Right.
They were local. They knew Birmingham. They lived here. Same with Rita and Jamie. And very fortunate to, like I said, we're thankful that we can call them friends, Jamie and Rita and their families, and we just appreciate it. The heart, the soul, the sweat and the tears, and
Yeah.
certainly the headaches. We know it's not easy running a con.
I can't
so
imagine.
We appreciate you ladies and your families and your sacrifices and whatever's next in store for you guys. Anything that we can do, anything that the Alabama Ghostbusters can do, anything that we can do as friends, let us know, because we love and support you, and we just thank you for all the great years that you've and all the great years of fun, especially that you have brought to Magic City Con into Birmingham.
Yeah. Oh.
And thank you very much for never going Omega Con with it.
It's going to be the Patreon bonus episodes.
We still got to talk
Con.
about that.
Yeah, we're not going to get into that on the main podcast. But
Hey, if I could pick up the mantle on it tomorrow, I'd do it. But yeah.
hey, we're just, as we've always said, we're just patiently waiting on your dad to win the lottery.
That's right.
Well,
Once he
it's
wins
not
it,
just-
we're gonna build our own convention center, event center.
That's right.
We'll host stuff.
It's not just that, and I know we're gushing over, the talent there. It's the talent. It's not just the resources. It's not just the money. It's not. It's talent, because they for what they do, they can pull in the people that we want to see. At the rate that they need to be. So it's it was always having that with Jamie and Rita, they could do that. So we really appreciate you guys. I hope everything works out for you guys in the future. And hey, you know what? If you guys ever do decide that you might want to start something else, you could even call it something different. We'd be okay with that. You could come back and do another convention. We'd be fine with it. You don't have to call it Magic City Con. I know this year was Ragnarok. We're finishing it. It's now over. You could always just, if you guys feel like it, just come on back and do it under a different name. You can even, come up with something new. We'll help you.
Absolutely.
Magic City Con, Love and Thunder. Hey, I mean,
There we go.
We're gonna keep the sequel.
I was thinking Magic City Con 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah.
Magic City Con 2, the search for more money.
There we go.
Oh man. Well, we hope that the Birmingham convention scene continues to thrive. It's definitely a local feel con would be great with local people. So we'll see. We'll keep an eye out, and we'll still do Alabama Comic Con, and we'll get to CamiCon. The Alabama Ghostbusters will be in full support of whatever con is around here.
Yeah,
for sure.